Друзья, спасибо вам, что пришли на финальный книжный клуб по рассказу Рэя Брэдбери «И были они смуглые, золотоглазые». Сегодня мы закончим чтение. Наконец-то! Я очень счастлив, что мы завершим эту книгу и на хорошей ноте, я надеюсь. А может быть и не очень, потому что окончание книги вас, возможно, удивит, если вы еще не дочитали до конца. Значит, что мы сегодня будем делать? Мы сегодня начнем с вопроса, который я составил в прошлый раз для вас. Я думаю, что он мог показаться вам чересчур философским, но тем не менее, давайте обсудим его. Вопрос можно посмотреть по ссылке, которую я еще раз сейчас продублирую в чате. Вы можете прямо по этой ссылке перейти, посмотреть выражение с прошлого урока, которое я выписал для вас, которое мы обсуждали, множество раз повторяли, закрепляли, и вопрос, который там есть. Значит, refreshing summer water during the heat. Hello and welcome.
Alan?
Yes, my darling. You have come, finally.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit busy today. I was about to lay down and sleep for a while, but I just remembered that today is time for the book club.
It is time for the book club. If you feel comfortable, if you can talk, because we would very much love to hear you talking and discussing.
Yeah, of course. It's fine.
Good.
I can.
Good.
Continue.
So, gentlemen, ladies, please listen to the question and think about it. I ask you to write the question down, so I expect you to send the written forms of these questions to me. But still, let us discuss, first of all. Let's see what maybe we can find a solution and come to a revelation regarding changes that happen to Harry, the main character of the story. The question is, refreshing summer water during the heat has its relaxing and soothing effect on us. In the case of Harry, it helped him to forget about being forlorn, stranded, at the same time. Remember that he sank like a golden statue to lie at the bottom, which might seem like a suicide attempt. Итак, relaxing and soothing effect of us, расслабляющий, обволакивающий, да, словно нас пытаются убаюкать, да, вода на нас такой эффект производит. И в книге мы встречаем Гарри при очень необычных обстоятельствах, он просто падает, словно золотая статуя, на дно вот этого вот озера или реки, и там остается. И выглядит это вообще как попытка суицида, с одной стороны. С другой стороны, эта вода его очень сильно расслабляет. Вопрос в следующем. How does this picture make you feel? Ксюша, we'll start with you. What do you think about such a picture, Harry sinking at the bottom of a lake like a golden statue?
Just similar, like he is alone in his life with among his family and society. So in the bottom of this river or channel, he feels the same loneliness, and it's good for him. He liked this. So even he go with his family for a little rest, he prefer just lay down on this bottom and feel himself like a coral or like a stone, something like this. This is a normal feeling for him. So he's comfortable there. I think it's not was a suicide. It's just he decided to accept this part of him like nature. So his loneliness also, it's a part of him and it's normal. He's not like other people like people, yes, a creature.
Hmm.
But he part of them, and the loneliness it's normal, and everything is okay, and the water it's something, как это, что-то вечное, не знаю, как это.
Something eternal. You can.
Something eternal, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So this is good for him.
Good for
Yeah,
him. Yeah. Let's say good for
yeah,
him. Harry, you can
mhm,
rest. Yeah. Finally, you can recuperate.
yeah, yeah.
Speaking.
Finally, you say.
Thank you, Ksusha. Speaking
Welcome.
of recuperation, Yana, I have a question for you. What helps you to restore energy, charge your batteries, recuperate during stress, especially when you are far away from home? It's not a
Well,
it's
I've
not a
tried.
provocative question. Sorry. It's not,
It sounded like one.
no. It's the question that I wrote. I had written this question previously, so it's a part of the program, and I didn't expect.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you. It's fine. I'm just joking around. Well, I can tell you honestly, the only one thing that helps me out to recharge my batteries is to accept the fact that I am just a human with my own, my own strengths and my own like limitations. Sorry, I can hear my voice from the other room. Cannot focus. And I guess that every person has its own limits, and it's better if you accept it as is than trying to numb it, trying to get away from, I don't know, this idea that you're vulnerable. So for me, the first step is to accept my boundaries. The first thing is to accept that I'm actually weak. I am allowed to be weak. And I know my boundaries, I know my strong sides, my weak sides, but when I need to rest, I'm allowing myself, for example, to cry for a while, because having all these emotions under control, it's not always good, because you can hold yourself tight, you can pretend that you're somebody else, but in the end of the day, you can break apart pretty easily if that lasts for long, for quite a long time. So yeah, the first thing is to accept myself. Secondly, I think returning to your habits, your true habits, your hobbies, something that you like. It can be, for example, I'm very chatty. I'm a very chatty person, so I know that this is my strong side, and I try to go for a walk. I try to meet new people. I try to talk to them. So my primary source, I think, is, well, maybe it's a bad thing, but I find strength in other people and helping other people too, or just, exchanging our energies with them. Also, it's a good thing for me to go for a walk to explore, the city. So right now I'm in Tbilisi, and I'm trying to push myself to go more, because it's something that, well, it's not that I'm pushing, myself to do something. It's more something natural for me, if you know what I mean, if you know what I'm talking about. It's very natural for me to go for a walk. I love taking pictures. I love taking pictures of different, historical buildings or something peculiar that I see on streets. And the way that I contemplate the life helps me to, come back to myself, to feel more alive, like contemplating people talking to each other, walking, feeling that life is still going no matter what. So it really helps me out. So it's a balance, I guess. Balance in your work life, sequence of events, I guess.
Thank you for being honest and thank you for being vulnerable. Showing your weaknesses is not an easy
You're
thing.
welcome. You can contemplate it 24/7.
Yeah, I know that we all contemplate. We are all thinkers. We all think constantly, and we all sit in our own heads. I'm happy that you find, let us call it peace, and peace in the habits that you used to do, and you continue doing them no matter what. So I'm happy to hear that
Yeah,
you're.
exactly. So if you have your hobby, for example, it's very good that you keep in touch with everything you do. Still, like, you are a good example, actually, of having your life under control, I guess, to my personal opinion.
I don't have my life under control. I'm crying. Speaking of crying, thank you, Yana. Thank you once again for
And
being.
we actually accept things as they are, and it's a good thing that we just acknowledge it, that we name things as they are. So if you feel bad, you feel bad, and you just acknowledge it. If you feel good, it's wonderful, then please acknowledge it. So if you feel tired of your own routine, maybe you just need to, say it loud and try to, I don't know, maybe switch to another hobby or find something that you feel comfortable doing,
Well said.
elsewhere.
Well said. I agree with you. I agree that we all need to find something to grab onto, to stay our ground, to stay our turf. It's very important, and I like how you say to acknowledge, like to not only to accept, but to first of all you need to understand what you are and how you feel. And if you feel bad, say it out loud. If you feel good, say it out loud. Emotions are fine. Thank you for this conversation. I'm giving each, some time to talk. So if you feel like you want to talk more,
Yeah,
we
sure.
can talk after the lesson, after this, book club.
Yeah, obviously,
We will just to stay.
anyhow, and like whatever suits you. So thanks for listening to me.
I think everyone is grateful. I have a question for Yasha. Yasha, could you be so kind to tell me? Yana mentioned crying, that crying is an important thing, but usually, men, they should be strong and they shouldn't show their emotions. Do you think that crying, because Harry, as you remember in the story, he keeps his emotions under control. He's not crying, he's being negative and being angry with the situation, but he's not allowing himself to cry. What do you think about crying, being a man and crying? Is it a useful thing? Can it help you to, like, to get rid of stress?
Okay, it's a different.
Yasha, I can't hear you. It's a difference.
No, I am here. I need to think about this question.
You can take your time. I know. I can ask you an easier question. First of all, do you think crying is okay for a man?
Yes, I think it's okay, but I think it's different between human beings, between men.
Human men's. It's different.
Everyone, yes, it can be different answers if you ask different people about this, and it's okay too.
Thank you. It's a straightforward and honest answer. Thank you, Yasha. If you have something more to say, please do after the next break. I'm gonna ask the next person if you don't mind this. Okay?
No, I need more time to.
Yeah, sure. You can even, once again, guys, you can even write to me and we can talk about it in English and Russian. It doesn't really matter. We can speak about that. And I can add with your permission, I can add the written form of the written answers into the document so you all can access it and see and talk more about this. Thank you, Yasha. Ruslan, what do you think? Is crying important when you want to release this energy that is within you, this negative energy especially?
Well, for me, crying is kind of a last resort when I can't do something about situation or just feel completely powerless and stressed out. Then yes, crying is an instrument you can use, but it is uncontrollable for me. And I don't think that crying is socially acceptable for men, mostly in our society. So it's quite different between men and women. Of course, if you see a woman crying in the street, you can approach her, try to help maybe, but usually you don't do this, do that. But if you see crying man, it is like you see hysterics. I'm not sure is a word.
Yeah, there is a word, hysterics. Hysteria. Hysterics, yeah.
I think that it is mostly hysteria from his side and weakness. I don't think so personally, but I think it is what social rules tell us.
I agree with you, Ruslan. Socially, we have our boundaries and limitations as well, and socially, it's not like widely accepted that a man cries. A man should cry. He is not allowed to cry. He needs to be strong. I agree with this position. Thank you for your answer, Alexander. A question for you: what is your method to release stress, to recuperate?
Well, I guess my way for stress relief is listening to music and maybe singing along with band artists, like some kind of karaoke. And sometimes it helps me, sometimes not, but that's a great stress relief, especially when I'm feeling homesick, because I'm not living now in the city, in the town that I was born. And sometimes I'm dreaming and want to get back to my childhood, and then I listen to music that I was listening to when I was younger, and it helps me a lot.
Thank you. And if you don't mind me asking, what do you think about crying as a way to release stress?
I think that's totally fine, but that's not my method. I can cry sometimes when I'm trying to tell out loud something that is difficult for me to tell out loud, when that's a lot of overwhelming emotions and etc., but it happens so rare that I don't know. It's difficult for me to start crying, and I don't think that it's my way to relieve stress.
Thank you for being honest, and thank you for telling us about music, for reminding
Sorry,
us.
can I actually add something?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you said, that crying is not socially acceptable, for men, for many reasons, for historical reasons, for social reasons. But I'm actually talking about, crying as the way to release all the tension that you have. And it's not like, if it's publicly unacceptable, you don't really go outside and cry out loud on streets, you know. You don't really show these emotions outside. If you have the closest circle people that you live with, for example, or, you know, closest ones, so your family members, right? If you understand that you are with the right people who understand you and who can actually, I don't know how to say, who
Connect,
can at least,
connect to you in a way that
who are connected, and you feel that you can be vulnerable in front of these people, then it's okay to release the tension this way, you know, if it actually works for you. I don't really see the connection between what's socially acceptable. Like, I don't really give a damn what's socially acceptable or not acceptable for men as well. I think that why men should be bothered about what is socially acceptable. They don't do that. They like, it's a bizarre thing, you know, to just go on the street and cry out loud. Obviously, that maybe that's suitable for I don't know, underaged, or like people who are, I don't know, maybe mental, like have mental conditions, you know, for doing that. But I think it's okay to have a way to release the tension, you know, this way, by crying, because sometimes people really need it. And then why we are even talking about what's socially acceptable or not acceptable if you don't do that on public? If you don't face the society, then in this situation, you know, when you do that on your own. Sorry, that was just a little point to
no,
you know,
don't be sorry.
provoke the conversation, or to provoke the, you know, the discussion over this idea of what's publicly acceptable or not. In this case, I think it doesn't really work. It's not really how to say, it's not really
taboo.
Relevant.
Yeah, it's not really
to talk about in
relevant.
these conditions, in these terms, in terms of what's socially acceptable or not.
It's a good point. I would partially disagree with you, but about that a little bit later. I want to ask Anastasia before she gets bored with us. Anastasia, what do you think about? Thank you, Yana. Thank you very much. It's a very good point. Let us remember this point of social acceptableness, right? So let us remember about this. Acceptability. Social acceptability, exceptionalness. Let's just add ness in the end, and it's gonna be fine. Anastasia, what do you think about releasing stress? What helps you to release stress?
Hello, everybody. I think way to get the stress is take a shower. Take a shower for a long time, maybe 30 minutes, and it helps me thinking. It's for switching on another ideas, and maybe a little bit of singing right in the shower, or I can go for a walk in city, and just watching on beautiful things, or just trying to find new ideas.
Thank you, Anastasia. I think it's, once again, you returned us to the topic water and how water has this soothing effect. Sometimes you just go to shower and you release this, tension if you are tense, if you are angry or, sad, disappointed. It helps you to release this stress through water. And it's also very important. And watching things, as Yana said, it's a good point.
Tear is a water produced by a human. Don't forget it.
Come again?
And mermaid.
Yeah, mermaid.
Tear is a water produced by a human.
Have you read Dune recently? It's like, of course, it's like in Dune, if you know, there is a tradition for the local people. They come to you and they spit, and the spit is actually their sacrifice to you. They give the water of their body to you, and tears as well. All right, ladies, gentlemen, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. A little bit depressing right now, but the music is playing, so it's gonna be nice. Let's read the book. We'll start with Ksenia. Ksenia, could you be so kind? Could you be a peach and read for us this part?
Of course. Сделай, пожалуйста, да, вот, увеличь. Все, спасибо. Так, бегунок. He let himself drift up through the soap light, then sat on the edge of the channel, regarding his father seriously. Uta, he said. What? Asked his father. The boy smiled. You know, utas, the Mercian word of for father. Where did you learn it? I don't know. Around. Uta, what do you want? The boy hesitated. I want to change my name. Change it? Yes. His mother swam over. What's wrong with Dan for a name? Dan fidget. The other day you called Dan. I didn't even hear. I said to myself, that's not my name. I have a new name I want to use. Mr. Bittern held to the side of the channel, his body cold and his heart pounding slowly. What is this new name? Linul. Isn't that a good name? Can I use it? Can I, please? Mr. Bittering put his hand to his head. He thought of the silly rocket himself walking alone, himself alone even among his family, so alone. He heard his wife say, why not? He heard himself say, yes, you can use it. Yes, screamed the boy, I'm Linal.
Thank you. Wonderful intonation in the end. What is fidgeted? Dan fidgeted.
Сейчас записала. Так.
Ага, заерзал, да? То есть Дэн он у нас заерзал, когда его спросили What's wrong with Dan for a name? Что не так с именем Дэн? Heart pounding slowly. Еще одна очень красивая фраза. Что там с сердечком происходит у мистера Биттеринга?
Сердечко медленно бьется. Ну, замедлило свое биение.
Drumming slowly, beating slowly, pounding slowly. Thank you, Ksusha. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Yasha, you are the next one in the line, please.
Racing down the Meadowlands, he danced and shouted. Mr. Bittering looked at his wife. Why did we go that? I don't know, she said. It just seemed like a good idea. They walked into the hills. They strolled an old mosaic paths beside still pumping fountains. These paths were covered with thin film of cool water all summer long. You kept your bare feet cool all the day, splashing in a creek, wading.
Next one, please.
They came to a small, deserted Martian villa with a good view of the valley. It was on top of the hill. Blue marble house, large murals, a swimming pool. It was refreshing in this hot summertime. The Martians hadn't believed in large cities. How nice, said Mrs. Bredberi. If we could move up there to this villa, for the summer. Come on, he said. We're going back to town. There's work.
Yeah, there is work to be done.
To be done on the rocket.
Thank you, Yasha. Thank you. Yasha, what do you think about the word Middlelands or Meadowlands, as they...
Равнины, насколько я знаю.
Мгм. Да, и еще у меня одна поправка здесь, Ксюша, забыл тебе сказать. Canal, точнее. А canal это другое слово. Canal через K пишется.
Да, извиняюсь. Ну,
Не-
я поняла, да.
Нет, не
Спасибо.
извиняйся, просто не хотел бы, чтобы ты использовал
Отложилось
Да,
неправильно, да, я
отложилось
поняла.
неправильно. Просто есть слово channel, да, это канал, как YouTube channel.
Ну да.
Есть canal. Есть canal еще слово. K-E-N-N-E-L. Middlelands. Отлично. He danced and shouted. Что такое strolled?
Вот тут я затрудняюсь, сейчас надо подумать. То есть нужно перечитать предложение и по смыслу.
Можно или нет?
Сейчас, Ксюша, пусть Яша подумает и скажет свое мнение, потом ты скажешь свое.
He knows this word. I'm pretty sure he knows this word. I remember myself explaining to him what means strolled. Stroll. I'm strolling. I'm on a stroll.
Нет, я не помню, может быть, это удивляться.
Они, смотри, здесь по старой мозаике, по дорогам из старой мозаики. Да.
Дорожки выложены мозаикой, правильно?
Да, они физически что-то делали. Strolled.
Шли по ним.
Да, они прогуливались по ним. То есть вот здесь вот, да, слово walk into the hills, они дошли, да, до холмов, опять же, физически, да, ножками. They strolled, это уже прогуливаться начали. Besides still pumping fountains. Какие там фонтаны были, кстати? Рабочие или нет?
Да, still pumping, то есть они продолжали бить.
Да. Отлично. Еще вопрос у меня ко всем, да, знатокам. The paths were covered with a thin film of cool water.
Дорожки были покрыты тонкой пленкой из холодной воды.
Отлично, Яша, прекрасно. Отличный перевод. Тонкой пленкой из холодной воды. Да?
Стекало по ним с фонтанов, что-то в этом духе.
Мгм.
И это... Нет, скорее все-таки стекало.
Да, здесь еще вот bare feet. Еще одно выражение.
Босые ступни.
Да, босые ступни. Ксюша не удержалась, да, босые ступни. Отлично. Отлично. Молодец, Ксюша, что запомнила. А вот здесь вот еще обратите внимание, есть разные слова. Есть river, lakes и creek. Что такое creek?
Я так понимаю, это какой-то синоним? Ручей, может быть?
Это ручей, совершенно верно, да. Это ручей при переводе на русский. Есть еще какой-то у него перевод. Мы сейчас посмотрим, потому что я подзабыл. Creek.
Случайно не родник?
Да вот думаю. A narrow sheltered waterway, especially an inlet in the shoreline. Поток. Да, это, наверное, может быть, это не родник, а приток, может быть, правильно перевести. Сейчас мы посмотрим все переводы. Сейчас будем смотреть все переводы. Ручей, бухта, залив, бухточка, приток. Вот, устье реки. А еще один глагол. Значит, они splashing, плескались.
Искались.
Да, и wading.
А waiting я затрудняюсь. Я не знаю.
Кто знает?
Болотный.
Еще раз, Ксюша?
Ну, я перевела это как болото, болотный, только я не поняла, при чем здесь это. Если они плескались в ручье, а потом вейдинг, типа, ну, как болот, может, как, типа, как в трясине, может, увязли в этом состоянии. Ну, типа, знаешь, как затянуло.
Я не знал, кстати,
Значение глагола.
что слово wade означает болото. Знаю
Мне перевело, когда я что-то стала искать, да.
еще варианты. Смотрите, давайте... Да.
Если посмотреть глагол to wade, то это переходить вброд, то есть идти сквозь воду.
Мгм. You kept your bare feet cool all the day. Да, голыми ногами ты держал их в холоде все время. Splashing as in a creek. Wading.
Уже пробираясь.
Да, плескаясь в реке, пробираясь. Ну, то есть значение Ксюши и значение Саши, то есть, в принципе, можно, да, вычленить это вот, пробираться, как через болото. И, Александр, как вы сказали еще раз?
Да, to wade, то есть переходить вброд,
Мгм.
пробираться сквозь воду.
Есть еще перевод омываться. Я думаю, тут скорее это.
Омываться или умываться?
Омываться.
Умываться. Хорошо.
О.
Омываться, да. Ну, то есть здесь у них умываться, умывание такое произошло. То есть они пришли в эту виллу, нашли эту виллу на лето, да, и как здесь миленько, может быть, здесь остаться на все лето. Нам еще предстоит работа. It was refreshing in this hot summertime. Okay, Alexander, you're the next one, please.
But as he walked that night, the thought of the cool blue marble villa entered his mind. As the hours passed, the rocket seemed less important. In the flow of days and weeks, the rocket receded and dwindled. The old fever was gone. It frightened him to think he had let it slip this way. But somehow the heat, the air, the working conditions. He heard the man murmuring on the porch of his metal shop. Everyone's going, you heard? All going, that's right. Bittering came out. Going where? He saw a couple of trucks loaded with children and furniture drive down the dusty street. Up to the villas, said the man. Yeah, Harry, I'm going. So is Sam, aren't you, Sam? That's right, Harry. What about you? I've got work to do here. Work? You can finish that rocket in the autumn when it's cooler. He took a breath. I got the frame all set up. In the autumn is better. Their voices were lazy in the heat. Got to work, he said. Autumn, they reasoned, and they sounded so sensible, so right. Autumn would be best, he thought. Plenty of time then. No, cried part of himself deep down. Put away, locked tight, suffocating. No, no. In the autumn, he said. Come on, Harry, they all said. Yes, he said, feeling his flesh melt in the hot liquid air. Yes, in the autumn, I'll begin work again then.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you very much. So there are some interesting details about Harry and the changes that happen to him. Let's have a look at the phrases as the hours passed. The rocket seemed less important. In the flow of days and weeks, the rocket receded and dwindled. Here is the definition. Recede, to become fainter or more distant. Dwindle, to become less until little remains. Что имеется в виду под словами receded and dwindled? Александр, как вы думаете?
Ну, как будто бы он начал отказываться от этой идеи, точнее, сама затея начала затухать и, как написано, становиться все менее важной, пока не исчезла как будто бы с горизонта совсем.
Отлично, спасибо за перевод. А еще здесь есть слово murmuring on the porch.
Бурчать под нос,
Да.
что-то такое, нет?
Бормотать, бурчать, да. Он услышал, как мужчины бормотали на крыльце металлического вот этого магазинчика, где он строил ракету. To think he had let it slip away. Да, его напугало то, что он позволил этому ускользнуть. Этому, то есть тому, что происходило с постройкой ракеты. The old fever was gone. Старая лихорадка уже была позади. Тоже и очень интересно, это он про лихорадку, про свою, скорее всего, говорит, да, то, что the old fever was gone. It frightened him.
Наверное, про запал, про саму идею. Не так важно.
Отлично. И еще, Александр, у меня к вам вопрос. Здесь Всем понятно, о чем мы прочли? Что они предлагают? Все эти мужи и дамы, что предлагают делать?
Мне предлагают отложить постройку ракеты до осени, когда станет не так жарко, когда станет прохладнее.
Да, отлично. И вот their voices were lazy in the heat. Их голоса были очень ленивыми на жаре. И еще выражение suffocating. No cried part of himself, deep down, put away, locked tight, suffocating. No, no.
Это не задыхаясь?
Да, задыхаясь. Это когда ему сказали, что... Когда он сам себе сказал, что он подумал, что осенью будет лучше, достаточно много времени будет. И вот он начал кричать сам себе. Часть его естества кричала в глубине put away, locked tight, suffocating. И эту часть он словно что с ней сделал? Put away.
Но она где-то глубоко внутри, put away, убрана, спрятана, и locked tight, как будто тесно заперто. Как будто сундучок представить себе, большой замок. Locked tight.
Да. Locked tight. Suffocating. Ты сразу представил себе, наверное, видеоигры, там как locked tight, can't open it, with a British accent. Suffocating. Да, обратили внимание на слова. И вот еще одна замечательная фраза. His flesh melt in the hot liquid air. Плоть его растаяла на горячем жидком воздухе. Поэтому было принято решение пойти к виллам. Отдыхать там на лето. В принципе, отлично. So, I have a question for you all. Why is the rocket becoming less important to Harry? Anastasia, the question to you.
Because yeah, swimming, children when way down and bottom river canal. He thinking about this silly maybe egg made
There is something with the connection.
accept.
Accept.
Maybe he just accept. Maybe in environment.
Could you please repeat that once again? He has just accepted the environment, and after this swim with his family, you mean that he remembered about his silly rocket, and it sounded insignificant, not important.
He just called this rocket silly, I think, at the moment. He swim in water.
Yes.
It's part of the environment, right?
Thank you.
Dissolve. Творить.
Come again?
Я хотела сказать, что не важно.
Нет, подожди. Почему не важно? Связь пропадает, я тебя периодически не слышу. Скажи еще раз, что-то растворилось? Повтори, пожалуйста.
Ну да, у меня такое ощущение, что часть его личности растворилась в этой воде, как он ее представлял, как кислоту.
Отличная мысль. Растворилась часть его личности, как в воде, как в кислоте, то есть вода была как кислота. Смотри, растворяться — это dissolve. Ты, кстати, начала, по-моему, это слово говорить, я просто не услышал, я не знаю, у всех ли такие проблемы. У меня со связью, когда ты начала говорить, вдруг связь пропала. Попробуй сказать еще раз, то есть вот с глаголом dissolve, то, что часть его личности растворилась в воде.
I think in this actual moment he will be ready to dissolve in water, and maybe this environment eats him and kills part of personality, past personality.
Yes, so the environment is acidic, and it kills. Metaphorically speaking, it's acidic, and it dissolves parts of his personality, and he becomes less and less of Harry from before, but he's becoming more of a Martian himself, as everyone else. Beautiful idea, beautiful. Don't if you can't formulate the idea in English, formulate it in Russian, or paraphrase it. It's a beautiful idea, very well spoken. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else has an idea why is the rocket becoming less important to Harry?
Yes, I think that Mr. Bitterin is the only person who really needs this rocket. He doesn't feel himself supported. No one needs this rocket, and because of no support, he starts to think that he doesn't need it too.
Right.
He sees that his family is totally fine on the Mars. His son chose himself another name, and even the thought of coming back to Earth is not supported at all.
Good point. That without support, he is. It seems like I would add that his idea of building the rocket without the support from his family is dwindling every day, every second. It seems like they don't want to listen. They are comfortable, as you said. I like this idea. I like the idea that because of absence of the support, he's actually abandoning the rocket thing forever. And do you think he? So I think that he never returns to this rocket building anymore. But maybe someone thinks that he returns. You can finish that rocket in the autumn. Can he finish the rocket in the autumn, you think?
No, no, maybe not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Alexandra.
Can
Yeah,
I?
Ksusha, please.
Yes, I think Harry, he is the person who have every time people like him, they have this several plans of the life. So the first plan is just live happy on Mars. The second plan, if something goes wrong, go back to the Earth. But when the Earth was destroyed, the second plan was destroyed also, and it's getting panic of his mind, and he can't find the new second plan. So what he will do if the good life on the Mars will if something going wrong, so he the person who needs the second plan. That is all. That's the reason that he сейчас секундочку, мысли разбежались. So he always listen the news, and when everything is finished on the Earth, everybody just live happy and never mind, and everything gets in very calm. But Harry, he waiting of the bad news. He just a person who nervous every time, every second.
He's tense. Yeah, I agree. He's tense all the time.
Yes, and when he just look around and swim on the water and just decide to eat the food which they grow, so he just wake up and understood that everybody is calm, the life is very easy and happy, and he's just get relaxing finally.
Hmm.
Finally get relaxing, so like this.
Thank you, Ksusha. Once again, a very good point that he finally got this some way, somehow. He finally relaxed and he's like, easygoing guy, easygoing Harry. Yeah, it's actually not bad. I can go to the villa and relax until autumn. Maybe something changes, maybe not. Look at this. Marsh.
Yeah, he just understood that he don't need the second plan, so everything is
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
He don't need the second plan.
And he stopped doom scrolling, as everybody does these days. Okay. Th- yeah.
Life on the Mars.
What
I
is?
think I have a simple answer on this question.
Could you please?
Harry got new life on the Mars,
Right. Yes. A new life.
and his new life on Mars become more important than his life on Earth. And rocket that was only the vehicle to travel to Earth is not. It is not more important after that. So if you don't need Earth, you don't need rocket too. That's all.
Okay, Yasha. I think you also pointed out something very very unique and important, that he stopped living in this illusion, living this dream that one day he returns. He accepted the reality that actually it's not that bad and I don't need to go because, as previously was said, everyone is happy on Mars. I don't really need this, opportunity to travel back. Maybe there is nothing else.
His new life.
Yeah,
I see.
his new life. American dream, Martian dream. Thank you everyone. Anastasia, would you be so kind to read the next part?
I got a villa near the Tyrrell Canal, said someone. You mean the Roosevelt Canal, don't you? Tyrrell, the old Martian name. But on the map, forget the map. It's Tyrrell now. Now I found a place in the Tyrrell Mountain. You mean the Rockefeller Range, said Beach. I mean the Tyrrell map. You said between. Yes, between. Buried in the hot, warming air. The Tyrrell map. Everyone worked loading the truck in the hut till tonight. The next, Laura, Dan, and David carried back, or as for to be known, Till, Lionel, and Webb carried. The furniture was abandoned in the little white. It looked just fine, said the mother, and here in the but up villa. But up the villa. No. We'll get the when we come back in the autumn. Between have some ideas on furniture for the villa. Set up, but lazy furniture. What about you? And you're talking it alone.
Thank you, Anastasia. I heard partially what you read. There were some troubles. I think it's the Discord to blame because it just, choose some words that you pronounce. Can you please help us with the translation of some phrases here? First of all, so they are exchanging the phrases, the names for the places. Roosevelt Canal now is called Tira Canal, the old Martian name. Что происходит с названиями? Что вдруг стало происходить? Как ты это поняла?
Просто их перестает называть земными пользуются.
Земными названиями используют марсианские. Опять же, очень плохо слышно, надо тебе с Дискордом, я потом посмотрю. Что-то не то, плохо очень тебя слышно. Ну, я думаю, что мы поняли, да, все, что здесь изменяют они, точнее, возвращают старые названия, древние марсианские, вместо тех новых, которые люди Земли дали, Roosevelt Canal. Анастасия, а еще вот эту фразу можете нам помочь перевести? Buried in the hot swirling air.
Сгорая в горящем. В жарком пламени.
Да, как в пламени, да. Buried — это как будто он похороненный, погруженный, вот этот горячий, снующий вокруг. Swarm — это еще про насекомых, like swarm of mosquitoes. Да, то есть это воздух такой, он прямо вот его можно ощущать, он жидкий, тягучий, липкий, и он на всех на них наседает. Они поэтому хотят уйти в другие места.
А я прочитал как burn, buried.
Да, burning очень похоже, но здесь buried in the hot. Здесь каждый раз новые слова используют, новые глаголы, которые описывают вот это состояние, в котором погружается. Здесь уже buried, это уже все погребен. То есть это как финальная стадия, да, то есть всю жизнь прожил уже свою земную, вот теперь ты buried in the hot swarming air. Здесь такая прямо очевидная аналогия с этими глаголами, потому что сначала было то, что он scorching air, he's melting, да, он плавится, а теперь все, его погребли уже, все, назад дороги нет. Теперь называется это, он сам называет это Peeling Mountains. И да, здесь еще с мебелью. Что они оставили?
Они оставили заброшенными мебель в своем белом коттедже.
Молодец, да, в своем белом коттедже оставили заброшенный. И у них есть идея для новой мебели, для виллы. Большой, ленивой мебели. Anastasia,
Обожаю такую.
as an architect, what do you think is a lazy furniture?
Без понятия, но мне представляются такие огромные диваны.
Огромные диваны. Big sofas.
Такие просто из кубов состоящие.
Cube-shaped sofas, huge, that you can lay down the whole day and do nothing. Big lazy furniture. What about encyclopedia? You're taking it along surely. Да, даже энциклопедию они не собираются не брать, скорее всего.
Все законсервировано.
Да, все законсервировано. All right. Yana, I have a question for you. Why is it significant that the people are changing the names of the landmarks and themselves? Let me check, Yana.
Good question.
Yeah, good question. Good fucking question. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, you're welcome.
I still don't really get why it's happening here and now, like in Moscow, they change names, or no, mostly in Europe, I think they change the names of the districts. Well, let me think. Why is it significant that people are changing the names of the landmarks and so? I'm sorry, I was a little bit out of the context, honestly, but
I can ask you. Yeah, I understand. Let me ask you a different question connected with the name changing and all that stuff. So, kids of Harry, and you saw that and you witnessed that, how they asked to change their names, and now they're called Till, Linnell, and Ware. Before they were called Laura, Dan, and David. So, crazy things are happening in the world right now. People want to be called differently, for example. Why do you think such things happen? Like, I want to be referred as gze or xi or they, with the pronoun they or she or her. Why is this happening?
Maybe because people want to be more defined, and they want to be defined by statuses, for example, or labels, or maybe and sometimes people change names because they want to break the chain with the past that they had, for example. Yeah, maybe because they want to be defined by something new. For example, if a person changes a name and something else, he doesn't want to be called by his old name because he wants to break this chain that connects himself with his past. That's my own personal opinion. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's a good opinion. It's a argument-based opinion. So sometimes people have to cut their connections with the past, and they just simply change names or surnames, right? We have this tradition in marriage when sometimes women take the surname of their husbands, and sometimes they have double surnames as the thing to cherish that
because some people want to preserve their past, and like their surnames, something that they really cherish, and some people, they feel at ease when they accept someone else's surname, for example.
Thank you.
They feel more comfortable with that.
It was a good question. I think you handled it. Thank you, Yana. Thank you very much. Ladies, gentlemen, do you have your opinion about something different to say about changing names? Is it?
Yeah.
I have a point, but I can let Ksenia speak first.
All right, thank you. A true gentleman, a knight clad in steel, of course. Thank you, Ksyusha.
So, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I think when these people come to the Mars from the Earth, they decide to change it, change the nature, change everything, because this is our nature, to change every stuff to make more comfortable for our life, from the nature till the, I don't know, just the furniture, everything must be comfortable for us. But in this way, the Mars isn't just a rock in the, I don't know, in the space. It's really a life planet with self opinion. I don't know. So Mars start change everybody, and the people integrate in the nature of Mars, from very simple things to very complete, like color of eyes or horn in the cow, something like this. So people don't even think that the Mars can change them. So they were sure that they change everything around them. So I
Wow.
think
So
that's why
something.
the new language it's integrate like very easily, and they just take the new words and so.
It's like Stanislav's Lem, magnum opus Solaris, with the
Yeah.
planet that has conscious, and it changes everyone and everything, that who come to the planet. Thank you, Ksusha. Good point. Thank you very much. Alexander, would you be so kind to let us know
Yes,
what you think?
my point is similar, and I think that people of Earth, they came as conquerors, but as the time passes, this name says what it was Washington Canal and or Roosevelt, but as the time passes, these names start to seem inappropriate. People of Earth started to accept Martian culture, and they start to realize that these ancient Martian names are bigger and more important than some legacy name of Earth conquerors. Yes, it is a point of cultures. They came with their conqueror culture, and nobody really needs it there. And people of Earth just accept what there is on Mars already. No, what exists on Mars already.
So Mars is a dominant gigachat of a planet, and people come there like, hey, we can change things like we changed on Earth.
And the Mars be like, nope.
Not a chance. Try me, bitch. So I agree with both of you. I think that this is something that I like about the story, that actually people come there and they try to dominate the nature, to conquer everything, because they feel immortal, they feel eternal in a way, and they come there and they're like, okay, we can't change things, so let's just incorporate, and let's just adapt to what planet gives us, because it seems the only way we can survive, and it's the only way appropriate. But it's not their decision, it's like their subconscious decision, because the planet influences maybe something in the air, as it was stated previously, something in the air of the planet, the air that is scorching, melting their skin, melting their personalities. Very interesting idea. Thank you both. Thank you, Alexander and Ksusha. Ruslan, can I ask you a question as well? You seem silent today.
Yeah, we're here.
Thank you. So what do you think about us as humans on planet Earth? Are we conquerors? Are we changing this planet for the greater good? So what are your ideas about us changing things around Earth here?
I don't think that we change Earth as much as we imagine. So yeah, we can harm some organisms, some animals, but in the scale of space or even smaller Earth, it is just insignificant. If humans disappear, the Earth will remain here for billions of years, and after like maybe several thousand years, there will be no signs of human if we disappear. So yeah, we are conquerors, but we can't change much in the Earth. Volcanoes still will erupt, and earthquakes will happen, and sometimes maybe even some space object will hit Earth, and we mostly can't do anything about it.
Good point as well. I think about rogue planets, the planets that the planets that used to be planets, things, and they're like asteroids, and they fly across space because they were hit, out of their orbit, and now they're flying. They are called the rogue planets, and they are fucking destroying everything on their way, because they just they were launched by and their trajectory changed, and they flew out of the orbit, and they are flying somewhere. And there's a big chance that one of these rogue planets can, come one day, it just, comes and says, hello, I'm just here to kick you out of the orbit. And now you're getting colder and colder because you're getting away from the sun and from the solar energy. Bye-bye, see you next time. You're not gonna survive within, these 50 years as humanity. This can happen. This happens across the universe. We can observe such things. So I agree with you that we try to do something with the planet, but just these minute changes don't really change anything, because after thousands of years, a few layers will cover everything.
Yeah, it's just not reason to, I don't know, to become some kind of pyroman and fire up the forests, or just
Yeah.
leave trash after you have some picnic, but still, it is quite insignificant.
Thank you, Ruslan, for reminding us about our insignificance. Thank you. Yay, hooray. I feel much better now. Do you guys? Thank you, Ruslan. Thank you. It's a very good point, actually, about conquerors. Let's read till the end. We have 15 minutes, so let me be the next one to read for you. Just, feel relaxed, have some tea. I'm gonna read this thing to you. Mr. Bittering glanced away. I'll come and get it next week. They turned to their daughter. What about your New York dresses? The bewildered girl stared. Why? I don't want them anymore. They shut off the gas, the water, they locked the doors and walked away. Father peered into the truck. Gosh, we're not taking much, he said. Considering all we bought to Mars, this is only a handful. He started the truck. Looking at the small white cottage for a long moment, he was filled with a desire to rush to it, touch it, say goodbye to it. For he felt as if he were going away, on a long journey, leaving something to which he could never quite return, never understand again. Just then Sam and his family drove by another truck. Hi, Bittering, here we go. The truck swung down the ancient highway out of town. There were 60 other traveling in the same direction. The town filled with the silent, heavy dust from the passage. The canal waters lay blue in the sun, and a quiet wind moved in the strange trees. Goodbye, town, said Mr. Bittering. Goodbye, goodbye, said the family, waving to it. They did not look back again. Summer burned the canals dry. Summer moved like flame upon the meadows. In the empty earth settlement, they painted houses, flaked and peeled. Rubber tires upon which children had swung in backyards hung suspended like stopped clock pendulums in the blazing air. At the metal shop, the rocket flame began to rust. In the quiet autumn, Mr. Bittering stood very dark now, very golden-eyed, upon the slope above his villa, looking at the valley. It's time to go back, said Cora. Yes, but we are not going, he said quietly. There is nothing there anymore. Your books, she said, your fine clothes, your ilays and your fine re, she said. The town's empty. No one's going back, he said. There is no reason to, none at all. The daughter wove tapestries, and the sons played songs on ancient flutes and pipes, their laughter echoing in the marble villa. Mr. Bittering gazed at the earth settlement far away in the low valley. Such old, such ridiculous houses the earth people built. They didn't know any better, his wife mused. Such ugly people. I'm glad they are gone. Well, look at this. First of all, let me unpack some things for you. Во-первых, обратите внимание на то, как поменялись биттеринги уже сейчас, когда они уезжают из дома. Когда сказали про энциклопедию, I'll come and get it next week. На следующей неделе заберу. What about New York dresses? Как насчет платьев из Нью-Йорка? Обескураженная девушка, bewildered girls, stared, уставилась. Why I don't want them anymore? Да зачем они мне не нужны? И вот они выключили газ, воду, заперли свои двери и ушли. Father peered into the truck. Значит, не берут они с собой много, учитывая, сколько всего они взяли с собой на Марс. И у него даже появилось, когда он сел в машину, у него появилось желание to rush to it, touch it, побежать к дому, дотронуться до него, сказать последнее прощание. И он почувствовал, что он уезжал в долгое путешествие, оставляя за собой что-то, к чему он никогда не сможет на самом деле вернуться. И то, что он никогда не сможет снова понять. Never understand again, never quite return. И вот они уехали, машины. И спустя время нам открывается новая картина. Лето выжгло каналы досуха. Лето словно пламя, like flame upon the meadows, на эти луга опустилось. И в пустых земных поселениях окрашенные дома, краска с них начала спадать, да, flaked, то есть словно хлопьями эта краска с этих домов спадала и отслаивалась. Шины, на которых раньше дети, да, rubber tires, на которых раньше дети катались на задних дворах, они остановились словно пендулум.
Маятник.
Маятник, отлично, да, в горящем воздухе. Вот просто посмотрите, как можно описывать лето. Blazing air. Summer burned the canals dry. Вот вам прямо описание лета, особенно жаркого. Но описание страшное, словно лето все выжгло, да, и все высушило. И вот они стоят, мистер Биттеринг и его жена Кора, и вместо слова книги они произносят название марсианское «Илле», или «ле» даже написано, не «Илле», а «ле». И вместо отличной одежды, удобной, да, они уже другое название, марсианское, для него используют. Дочерь wove tapestries, вязала гобелены, и сыновья играли песни на древних флейтах и трубах. И их смех эхом отдавался Марблвиллу среди мраморной виллы, в которой они жили. Обратите внимание на фразу «Such odd, such ridiculous houses the earth people build». Такие странные, такие невероятные в плохом смысле, да, дома, которые эти земляне построили. Такие ужасные. Они не знали ничего лучше. Жена даже засмеялась и сказала: такие они уродливые. Я рада, что они ушли. So I have a question for you all. But first of all, let us read till the end. There is just a very small part here left. Yana, would you be so kind? Yana, are you there?
You don't hear me.
Yeah, now I can
Yeah,
hear you.
so
Now I
I was-
can.
Okay. They both looked at each other, startled by all they had just finished saying. They laughed. Where did they go? He wondered. He glanced at his wife. She was golden and slender as his daughter. She looked at him, and he seemed almost as young as their eldest son. I don't know, she said. We'll go back to town maybe next year, or the year after, or the year after that, she said calmly. Now I'm warm. How about taking a swim? They turned their backs to the valley. Arm in arm, they walked silently down a path of clear, running spring water. 5 years later, a rocket fell out of the sky. It lay streaming in the valley. Men leaped out of it, shouting, "We won the war on Earth. We are here to rescue you, hey!" But the American-built town of cottages, beech trees, and theaters was silent. They found a flimsy, right?
Mhm.
They found a flimsy rocket frame rusting in an empty shop. The rocket men searched the hills. The captain established headquarters in an abandoned bar. His lieutenant came back to report. The town's empty, but we found native life in the hills, sir. Dark people. Yellow eyes, Martians, very friendly. We talked a bit, not much. They learned English fast. I'm sure our relationship will be most friendly with them, sir. Dark, huh? Mused the captain. How many? 800, I'd say, living in those marble ruins in the hills, sir. Tall, healthy, beautiful women. Did they tell you what became of the men and women who built this earth settlement, Lieutenant? They hadn't the foggiest notion of what happened to this town or its people. Strange. I think those Martians killed them? They look surprisingly peaceful. Chances are a plague did this town in, sir. Perhaps I suppose this is one of those mysteries we'll never solve. One of those mysteries you read about.
Thank you, Yana.
The captain.
Thank you very much. Yasha, would you be so kind to continue?
The captain looked at the room, the dusty windows, the blue mountains rising beyond, the canals moving in the light, and he heard the soft wind in the air. He shivered.
Yes, shivered. Shivered means like trembling. He looked at that and he felt uneasy. He felt that something is strange around here.
Then, recovering, he tapped a large fresh map he had thumbtacked.
Yeah, it's like this crazy guy in the memes who is like he had thumbtacked the map and he's showing you like, look at this. I know the mystery. I know how we can solve this. Он прикрепил ее этими, как это называется, как это по-русски сказать. Ну, в общем, он закрепил карту на кнопкой. Вот, спасибо, Яш, спасибо, да.
To the top of the empty table, of an empty table. Lots to be done, Lieutenant. His voice droned on and quietly on as the sun sank behind the blue hills. New settlements, mining cities, minerals to be looked for, bacteriological specimens.
Specimens taken.
Specimens? Okay. Bacteriological specimens taken. All the work.
Thank you, Yasha. Thank you. Anastasia, could you please be so kind to read it till the end?
And the old records were lost. We'll have a job of nothing to do.
Renaming
the mountains and rivers and calls for a little imagination. What do you think of naming those mountains? The Lincoln Mountains, this canal, the Washington Canal, those hills we can name those.
Lieutenant.
Diplomacy. And you favor might name a town for me. Polishing the apple. And why not make this the
Einstein Valley.
And power over. I'll listen, Leighton. Leighton snapped his gaze from the blue color and white mist of the hills far beyond. What? Oh, yes.
Thank you, everyone. This is the story. This is the story of Dark They Were and Golden Eyed. Итак, если у вас есть время, мы разберем до конца перевод. Если у вас нет времени, у меня на самом деле минут, наверное, 15, еще 20 есть. Если у вас нет времени, то можем сделать перерыв таким образом, что мы с вами друг другу напишем, я вам напишу и задам вам вопросы письменные по поводу этого рассказа. Мы его вместе обсудим. И, естественно, с вашего разрешения я все это потом выложу в единый документ, где вы сможете прочитать все свои ответы на вопросы касательно произведения. Либо мы сейчас еще выделяем 15-20 минут, все вместе встречаемся после 5-минутного перерыва и дообсуждаем, закончим на хорошей ноте и вместе все пойдем отдыхать. Кто согласен остаться? У кого есть еще 15-20 минут времени?
Ребят, люблю вас всех, но мне пора бежать. Я не смогу, я лучше потом послушаю и да, почитаю. Простите, пожалуйста.
Все хорошо, отлично.
Понимаю вас.
Все,
Спасибо большое.
спасибо тебе, Ксюша, да, что пришла. Все, спасибо. Хорошо.
Могу пока остаться.
Хорошо, Александр сможет остаться. Хочет еще договорить. Кто еще?
Могу остаться.
Хорошо, Руслан. Тогда останемся еще. Анастасия. Анастасия тоже сможет. Яша, Яна, вы как себя чувствуете?
Останемся. I'll stand to the end.
I'll stand to the end. Хорошо, тогда мы дочитаем. Okay. Yana, could you please repeat that? You have to work?
No, I support.
Okay.
I will stay to the
Okay,
end.
you support. So the Democratic Party said its word. We can stay. Give me 5 minutes to just, to exhale, inhale, and I'll return to you. We will talk till the end and discuss the questions, discuss the translation. We will show Ksusha afterwards, of course.
Alan, will you take a coffee break?
Yeah, coffee break, definitely, coffee break. 5-10 minutes then for a coffee break, and we will return for a 10-15 minute session. Thank you. Добрый день. У нас продолжение уже началось. Надеюсь, что вы немножко отдохнули и готовы закончить произведение. Яна, я хотел тебе сказать одну шутку. Ты меня спросил, what coffee do you prefer to drink? Я тебе хотел рассказать про шутку.
I didn't hear the half of what you were saying.
Yeah, you said, what coffee do I like to drink, or would I like to drink now? And I wanted to reply, black as my man, and it's a quote from the movie Airplane.
Good joke.
Yeah.
I was watching this movie yesterday.
Oh, what a coincidence. How was the movie?
And continued with Naked Gun today.
Excellent. Then you should watch, it's called Hot Shots. An excellent movie. Hot Shots.
Airplane is great, but I didn't like the как-то сюжетную ветку of main character. This was my first time seeing this movie, and I guess that 2/3 of all the jokes passed by. I didn't get them, or maybe didn't see, didn't.
It's all
Что-нибудь еще что-то.
to another. It's homages to another film of this year.
Yeah, it's a parody. The plot of the main plot, you didn't really follow. The main plot is it's just nonsense. It's just a plane and a guy who wants to impress a girl, and he's a pilot, but he's a retired pilot, and he takes control over the plane. There are terrorists on the plane on board, if I remember correctly, but some crazy stuff. Food poisoning, yeah, there were different things. Yeah. Anyway, Ruslan, somebody disconnected. I think it was Ksenia. Ruslan, you wanted to say something. I saw that you wanted to speak.
Well, I'll tell us that later.
Yeah, of course. No problem. So, ladies, gentlemen, thank you once again for sticking with me. Let's read this thing till the end. Let's translate this thing, first of all, and discuss a few questions here. Cora, yeah, your books, your pipes, all that stuff. Okay. They both looked at each other, startled by all the Way had just finished saying. В общем, когда Кора и мистер Бикинг Хэри, когда они начали говорить уже на другом языке, они уже были еще very much dark and very much golden eye, да, там прям такое усиление идет. Да, кто-то хотел сказать, Александр, я думаю, что вы хотели что-то сказать?
Заметил, что микрофон не выключен просто.
Я просто слушал твое дыхание и сразу понял, что это ты. Что такое startled, Александр?
Как замешкаться может.
Отлично. Прежде чем сказать, и засмеялись оба. Так, where did they go? Куда же они ушли, эти люди? Он взглянул на свою жену. Она была золотого цвета и slender. Что такое slender?
Стройная и высокая.
Стройная, высокая, прям как дочка. Посмотрел на него. He seemed almost as young as their eldest son. А он выглядел почти таким же молодым, как их сын. Вот так семейка. Не знают они, куда они ушли. I'll go back to town maybe next year. Может быть, в следующем году дойду до города. Или через год еще один. Или еще через год. Сказал он спокойно. Now I'm warm. How about taking a swim? They turned their backs to the valley, arm in arm, they walked silently down the path, clear running spring water. Пошли, в общем, они рука об руку по дороге, ведущей к чистой spring water, в воде из ручья. Вот spring тоже это ручей, какая-то, в общем, у них тут, видимо, источник чистой воды, называется это clean running spring water. Вот что стало с битрингами, с их семейством и с остальными. 5 лет спустя прилетела ракета. Я попрошу... Кто он здесь есть? Так, я попрошу... Анастасия, как вы? Готовы немножко перевести вот здесь вот эту часть?
5 лет спустя ракета
Упала, да, прямо упала.
упала с небес. Она лежала, им это пар.
Да, она паром от нее отдавала, it lays steaming, она лежала, да, обдавая все паром in the valley.
В долине.
Молодец, отлично.
Или отпрыгнули.
Да, вы из нее выпрыгнули мужчины, громко крича.
Смешно.
Ну, смешно, но здесь они же празднуют.
Мы выиграли войну на земле. Вы пришли, чтобы спасти вас.
Эгей.
Эгегей.
Так, ну что,
Но
приз...
американцы, построившие город Джеджей, персик, деревья, плантации, наверное.
Кстати, да, вот это у меня вопрос к слову theatres. Как вы думаете, что это такое? Это театры? Они там реально театры построили?
Может быть, беседки?
Беседки хорошо. Плантации хорошо тоже, да. Есть какое-то еще значение помимо theatre как театр? Это такой сразу громкие звуки печатания. Что там?
А у меня что-то какие-то страшные звуки. У меня такой пум звук был.
Да, у
Сейчас
меня тоже был.
Я без понятия, что это значит.
Ничего, просто кто-то включил звук
Это
печатания.
какой-то игровой дискордный. Но у меня наушники вырвались.
Включи наушники и сразу станет легче. Итак, что означает theatre еще?
Я вот посмотрела, theaters как поля действий. Поля.
Ну, в принципе, да. Мне нравится, кстати, вариант с плантациями, но здесь вряд ли тогда было бы слово plantation, прямо очевидное. Theatre здесь скорее, да, про то, что вот эти вот все места, где жили люди. Я сомневаюсь, что здесь были настоящие театры.
Я говорила про peach trees, потому что, блин, они построили город из коттеджей и построили почему-то деревья персиков. Я не
Они
поняла,
не
почему.
построили, смотри.
Нет, здесь они
Отдельные
построили
деревья.
American Built Town, это как бы город, построенный
американцами, получается, а не наоборот.
Да, здесь дальше уже персиковые деревья там еще были, и вот эти вот театры, все затихло. И нашли они flimsy rocket. Вот здесь есть значение flimsy, not solid or strong.
Ну, значение корпуса ракет, наверное, неустойчивый.
Rusting in an empty shop. Что с ним происходило?
Укрывающаяся ржавчиной.
Отлично,
В
да.
магазине.
Да, спасибо, Александр. Да, в пустом магазине вот эту ракету нашли, flimsy rocket. Яша, что там у нас? The rocket man searched the hills.
Ракеты обыскали холмы.
Да.
Капитан, то бишь, quarters, это in the abandoned bar.
Я тебя не случайно спросил, ты должен знать Headquarters, потому что ты смотрел Star Trek, и ты мне советовал очень хороший сериал с Battlestar Galactica. Вот этот вот самый.
Я не знаю, тут, может, это командиры, о чем речь идет. То есть in the abandoned bar, это, то есть в опустевший бар, в покинутый бар.
Да, обустроили там.
Не бар. О чем? Я, в общем, смысл предложения почему-то не могу уловить.
Штаб-квартиру обустроили в заброшенном баре.
Он обустроил квартиру, получается, в баре. Лейтенант вернулся с докладом. Город пуст, но мы нашли местных в горах, сэр. Темные люди, ну, темнокожие, я так понял.
Да.
Темнокожие люди, у них желтые глаза, марсиане, очень дружелюбные. Мы немного с ними поболтали, они быстро учат английский. Я уверен, что наши отношения будут в основном дружелюбными.
Отлично. Это, заметьте, да, как это контрастирует с тем, что марсиане, которые бывшие битринги, они сказали, что они назвали всех этих людей земных ugly, уродливыми. Да, а здесь теперь дружелюбные марсиане там живут. Так, Яна, помоги, пожалуйста, дальше нам с переводом.
Темнокожие, как бы amused to the captain, я так поняла, что это как...
Удивился. Он
Удивился, да, amused, да, amused, сокращенно.
Причем там, помнишь, было, когда Кора говорила, жена Битринга, она тоже говорила, типа, amused, словно, ну, она посмеивалась над теми людьми, что жили раньше, ну, то есть, по сути, над самой собой посмеивалась, как из прошлой жизни.
Как много, да, 600-800. Я бы сказала, что living in those marble ruins in the hills, то есть живущие в тех руинах, значит, каменных руинах в холмах, да, сэр, высокие и ну, здоровые, то есть такие достаточно очень красивые женщины, да. Они сказали вам, так, what become of the man and woman who built this earth settlement? They tell you what become of who built this earth settlement. То есть они сказали вам, кто является женщинами и мужчинами, кто построил вот это вот поселение, да, кто создал это поселение на земле.
Что стало, наверное.
Да, вот became of, посмотри, да, вот эту фразу.
Стало с мужчинами и женщинами, кто построил это, основал это поселение на земле.
Молодец, отлично, да, спасибо.
They hadn't the foggiest notion.
Только не foggiest, а foggiest получается здесь.
Foggiest.
Да, за счет удвоения согласной G она будет у тебя G.
Foggiest notion happened to this town or its people. То есть у них не было даже, ну как foggiest, это от слова fog, правильно?
Да, туманного представления.
Это туманное представление о том, что произошло с этим городом и с людьми этого города.
Спасибо. Руслан.
Анна, ты считаешь, что марсиане их убили? Да, они выглядели на удивление мирными. Скорее, чума сделал это с городом. С этим согласен?
Да, я согласен.
Мгм.
Шансы, что чума сделала это с городом, сэр. Отлично, Руслан, да. Что там еще?
Возможно. А, да, я полагаю, что это одна из загадок, которые мы никогда не решим. Одна из тех загадок, которых читаешь в книжках.
Типичная клише-фраза из детективного романа дешевого. Да, полагаю,
Ну,
это...
быстро они сдались.
Да, быстро. Это как Лестрейд прямо с Шерлоком Холмсом, когда он там постоянно приходил. Я думаю, что это загадка, которую мы не решим, и Шерлок Холмс ее решает за 5 минут. Ну вот примерно так же. Быстро сдались, да, согласен. Что еще? The
Я
Captain...
посмотрел на комнату, на грязные окна, на голубые как это, горы, которые возвышались на горизонте, каналы, на которых вода текла на свету, и услышал мягкий ветер в воздухе.
Да, вода только там уже не текла. Помнишь, там the canals were dried by the sun. Там уже просто уже от каналов остались вот эти вот углубления. То есть ты мог понять, что это каналы. Но только там свет теперь проходил. Воды там уже не было. Вода была только в горах.
Окей, терял контекст. Хорошо. Его... Сейчас, он поежился.
Мгм.
Чтобы избавиться от этого чувства, я так понимаю, рекаверинг,
Восстанавливаясь. Затем, восстанавливаясь, это, да,
останавливаясь,
тогда было
он
бы,
прикрепил.
извини, что перебиваю, to recover тогда было бы, да, чтобы избавиться. To recover from this feeling, he tapped a large fresh map. To forget about this feeling. А то здесь recovering, ну, типа, восстанавливался, достало.
Он закрепил большую свежую карту на вершине стола, на поверхности стола. Много надо еще сделать, лейтенант. Дрон. Его голос задрожал. Не уверен, что дрон так переводится.
Это скорее про низкий звук, который производит его голос. Droned on and quietly on as the song. Он типа он продолжил низко и тихо говорить, чтобы как будто бы шепотом, чтобы его никто не слышал. As the sun sank behind the blue hills. Вы можете проверить, потому что, ну, на слово мне в этом плане доверять нельзя, я иногда тоже совершаю ошибки. То есть drone, по-моему, это про низкий вот этот вот баритонный голос.
Сейчас пытаюсь перевести. Наверное, я не очень понимаю грамматики предложения. Допустим, что вот, да, он сказал это тихо, низким голосом. В тот же момент солнце, в тот момент, как солнце
Садилась за голубые...
окей, садилось, вот это я не понял, за голубые холмы.
Здесь же все еще... Каждое предложение, оно полно метафор, которые можно интерпретировать, да, поэтому мы так долго разбирали произведение. Значит, здесь his voice droned on, вот с грамматикой здесь, его голос, он как в значении как keep on или going on, да, продолжил тихо с этого момента и низко, пока солнце заходило за голубые холмы. И да, и солнце, оно не просто заходило, да, оно просто как, оно словно, помните, еще было как там битеринг, когда Гарри на дно опустился, he sank.
Утонула.
Да, солнце утонуло. То есть здесь вот очень важно то, что он опять, автор Рэя Брэдбери, опять словами играет здесь. Он нам говорит, что солнце утонуло, хотя воды там не было уже, да, воду все высушили, и они были напуганы отчасти тем, что прибыли туда, никого там больше нет. Может быть, чума какая-то скосила, но решили не думать о том, что с ними произошло. И поэтому, и очень странно, что они сразу же голосу капитана затих, он так низенько стал говорить, чтобы никто не слышал, боясь, что кто-то услышит или подслушает. Это странно и удивительно, потому что вроде как, ну, те-то местные марсиане, они же нормальные, дружелюбные. Новое поселение.
Да, новые поселения, новые шахты, минеральные залежи, которые надо искать, собирать бактериологические образцы.
Собраны только уже.
Окей.
Да, это здесь уже совершенный, ну, то есть здесь получается, типа, они has been taken, точнее, их уже собрали. Он же докладывает, bacteriological specimens taken, accepted, at ease, soldier, и все. То есть они же четко, солдат военный говорят. Он поэтому сказал, что забраны.
Да. В общем, надо работать и работать.
Отлично, спасибо, Руслан. Спасибо. И Александр, пожалуйста, помогите нам с переводом финальной части.
О, так уж и быть, помогу.
Ну, хорошо, давай.
Старые записи были утеряны. Нам придется рисовать новые карты. Правильно понимаю?
Да,
Ремаппинг.
да, еще раз карты
Да,
снова.
перерисовывать карты, переименовывать горы, реки и так далее. Придется применить немного imagination, господи.
Воображение.
Да, придется применить немножко воображения. Что ты думаешь, как ты думаешь, можем ли мы назвать те горы горами Линкольна, этот канал каналом Вашингтона? Эти горы, эти холмы мы можем так. We can name those hills. Можем, for you
В честь вас.
в честь вас, лейтенант. Дипломатия.
Он так пустил это слово, да? Дипломатия. Как будто ветку дипломатии открыл в разговоре.
А вы, в свою очередь, могли бы назвать город в честь меня. Polish and the Apple, там, кажется, было. Да.
Вот оно.
Acting in a way to get to that person. То есть, пытаясь подмаслить.
Да,
переведем это на русский так.
подмазаться. Но он Polish in the Apple, это он произнес причем. Это он сказал. Все еще цитата. Он говорит Polish in the Apple, то есть я вам разрешаю в честь себя назвать, и вы в честь меня, может быть, назовете городок.
Почему бы нам не назвать это место Долина Эйнштейна, а там дальше... Вы меня вообще слушаете, лейтенант? Лейтенант... Как... Snapped his gaze. Оторвал взгляд от голубого цвета и тихого тумана холмов вдали от города. Что? Да, конечно, сэр.
Да, причем спасибо, Саш, очень хороший перевод. Спасибо всем, что перевели. У вас у всех отличный перевод вышел, да, все вместе доделали. Наконец, это произведение. Обратите внимание, да, на то, как, опять же, используется Рэй Брэдбери, как он использует слова здесь, да, чтобы усилить, чтобы нагнетать еще больше. Он опять всю эту историю переворачивает и говорит о том, что все начинается заново. Пришли новые люди, с ним будет то же самое. Но лейтенант snapped his gaze from the blue color. Свой взгляд увел, ему пришлось оторваться, когда его просто загипнотизировали эти холмы, эти горы. Там был такой тихий туман на холмах за городом. Что? Да, конечно, сэр. Этот туман, он в самом начале нас возвращает, Рэй Брэдбери, снова к началу, где Биттеринг, Гарри, очень переживал по поводу тумана, который спускается, и очень переживал по поводу тех изменений, которые начали происходить, незначительных, а потом они вовсе все поменялись. Спасибо вам, что вы прочитали. У меня последний вопрос к каждому из вас, и мы разойдемся на хорошей ноте. My question is very simple. What do you think of the book, and how do you find it in English? Alexander, you are the first one to answer.
Well, that's quite a nice book. It has a vocabulary good for people who only start to read books in English. That was not very difficult, but nevertheless, you learn a lot of new words about. I have no words.
No, it's fine. Just tell me. I don't want to be official. Just you can tell me what you think, what you feel about the book. It's quite a surprising book, especially during the times of people migrating and immigrating to different places. And I took this book on purpose. I chose this book on purpose because I wanted to, like, I got from my friends. I got an idea to talk about relocation, and I'm like, yeah, I know how to talk about relocation. Here's the book. So what do you feel about reading this story? How does
Yes,
it?
the story recalls a lot about situation we live in, people who need to leave their towns and to start everything from the beginning in the new lands, and how this new culture, how this new environment starts to affect you, and how maybe it is difficult to stay the same, to stay the person you were before.
Thank you, Alexander. Yana, what do you think about the story so far? So far, like it hasn't ended, but it ended still. You, I hope you had not only a glimpse, but you understood the story and what is it about.
Yeah, given the fact that I joined you a little bit later and didn't have a chance to read from the end, but so far I can say that personally to me it's a story of transformation, I guess. How the soul one person can transform depending on the circumstances, depending on where he is, and I guess what everyone is capable of, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So like you try your limits, you leave the comfort zone, and you try yourself
Yeah,
in a new
exactly.
environment. So how does it feel to you? The bickering story. How does it make you feel that they adapted, they embraced the environment that they have to leave, and this transformation happens? Do you think they're happy?
I think that it's about finding the happiness, you know, along the way as you go. There is a wise idiom, like in Russia, it sounds like "дорогой осилит идущий." Do you know any similar phrases in English for this one?
Could you please repeat that in Russian?
Дорогу осилит идущий.
Oh, that's lovely. Similar idioms in Russian or in English?
No, in English.
In English.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Okay.
to find something similar in my mind.
It was in Lord of the Rings. There was a phrase about traveling, like you should make the first step.
You know, I know the phrase that sounds like this: a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
Yeah, that's nice too. Yeah,
I
something.
found the idiom "the road is made by walking."
Yeah, hit the road and you'll find the path. The road is made by walking. Good one. Thank you,
So I
Yana.
guess it's about adapting to different situations, adapting to changing environments, and that
So
everything is possible, basically.
yeah. So you find this story. This story is about adaptation and in a good way.
Exactly.
Thank you. I don't. To me, it's not. But we will talk about what I think. Let's just give a voice to Anastasia next. Anastasia, what do you think about the story?
Oh, I think it's a story full of suspense. Wait, do you hear me?
Yeah, can't agree more.
Okay. And there is a lot of human fears that we see on this story, and fear of loneliness, of lost your personality, of не знаю, переезд,
Yeah, about moving somewhere.
relocations.
You can just simply say moving. Yeah. So it's a story.
Moving.
It's a story about moving in life.
Fears about war, or fear about nobody help you, and become crazy.
The story is about fears, and the story
Yeah.
is about mysteries and suspense.
In mystery place. Fears in mystery place.
Fears in a mysterious place. I think it might have been a novel written by Ray Bрэdberi. Fears in a mysterious place. Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you for your answer. Ruslan, what do you think?
Well, I didn't like this book very much because the changes which happened with between families, they were too rapid, too quick, and so the idea of the book, because of changes are so quick, is vague to me. You know, they didn't change, they didn't adapt. They were consumed by some Martian entities, and that's all. They were one people. After a year or so, they were another people who didn't remember themselves. I hope this is not the case with relocation. So you won't become some kind of Turkish, I don't know.
Entities.
Yeah, Turkish entity.
We would become Turkish delights. I'm sorry, Ruslan. This is a very serious thought, and about the book. I should have told you about the. Do you know Drobushevsky?
Don't think so.
He's an anthropologist, or you can watch any other anthropologist, and they would tell you that changes happening to us. I mean, mutations and evolution. They can happen within 1 or 2 generations. They are pretty rapid. I know that the changes in this book, they are too quick. You know, the pace is fast. It's fast enough, and it's like they are being consumed. I agree with you. And to me, it's a horror story, to be frank. So I don't see it as a bright and good ending of the story. So to me, it's also the story about consuming, like the nature consumed you, and you have become a part of the ecosystem. Like you have become a part of the ecosystem in a forceful way, but you don't even notice that. So that's scary.
Yeah, I agree. This is more horror story. But I found the language of the book is quite beautiful, especially descriptions of the nature and those parts in the beginning of the smaller parts of this novel, when there are a lot of descriptions. They are hard to translate. Sometimes I wasn't capable to translate it correctly. Like, metallic children. What does it mean? I still not sure.
Yeah, it's quite challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, this book is. I think you have chosen this book right for the first assembly of not assembly for the literature club.
I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you disliked or liked it. I don't really care whether you like it or not. It's just the book that is worth, I think that it's worth your time. And if you can pick up something important for yourself in the book, including the language, it's beautiful. And it's what I aimed for, the language and the vocabulary, the conversation that we all yearn to, because we all want to talk, and sometimes we can't just find words, or we can't find time to talk to each other. So it's a therapeutical session in a way, for me especially, and I hope for you. Thank you, Ruslan. Yasha, would you be so kind to tell us what you think about the book now when you've read it in English?
Well, when I read it for the first time, I thought that it is a good fairy tale for children. Mystic, fantastic story, I like something like this when I was a child, when I was a teenager. But now I find it more complex. And I think Рэя Брэдбери is famous for he is famous writer because he can write so complex things in such short story.
I agree with you. I'm drawn to Рэя Брэдбeri's stories now, and I know what you mean, because in Russian the story sounds very simple. Like you read it and you are impressed by the story, but
But I didn't notice the things before I reread it read it again.
Yeah, when you read it. Exactly, this is the point that I was trying to make, and I'm trying to make still. Thank you, Yasha. I'm sorry for the interruption. I have a slight delay, so whenever somebody speaks, it seems like I'm trying to interrupt. Would you like to say anything else after you read the story? Is it a good, happy ending for you, or a bad ending?
I think it's not good and not bad. It's just end of the story.
Bittersweet, as they say. Bittersweet. Горько-сладкое.
Maybe.
Not great, not terrible.
Like Chernobyl series.
Yeah, not great, not terrible. Thank you.
I think it's a simple ending that the story needs. Yes, and about quick changes with Mr. I forget his surname.
Bittering. It's the Bittering family.
Okay. I think that's because it's very short. It's very short story, and this story is a part of the big anthology that called Merchant Stories, or else
Martian Chronicles. Yeah, Chronicles.
Chronicle. Okay. On English. And this is the format of book of story. If it will be longer, then it will be another book of another format, другого жанра.
Yeah, another genre. No, it's fine. You're doing great. Another genre.
Yes, it will be something like The War and the Peace.
The war and peace on Mars.
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
exactly.
Thank you, everyone, for attending this book club. Yes, Anastasia.
У меня тут появилось пару вопросиков.
Хорошо.
Во-первых, куда делись те первые марсиане, которые были там тогда в горах? То есть они ушли еще в какую-нибудь более дальнюю виллу из Marble, from Marble. Вот. Это первый вопрос. А второй вопрос. Может быть, и нам тоже стоит уже переименовать все площади Ленина в какие-нибудь более красивые местные названия.
Площадь древних русичей, потомков великих варягов. Ну да, можно попробовать. Но сейчас это лучше не делать. Сейчас очень опасно этим заниматься. На первый вопрос отвечая, я думаю, что лучше все подумают. Это первый вопрос действительно хороший, куда делись предыдущие люди или марсиане, которые там жили, где-то они в глубине. Я составлю этот вопрос по-английски и отправлю всем участникам, ну и в группу выложу в Confused Crow, и мы на эту тему подискутируем. Спасибо вам еще раз. С вами был проект и есть до сих пор проект DreamTeam. Английский через книги. Мы читаем в книжном клубе интересные рассказы, обсуждаем их, делимся мнениями, делимся впечатлениями. Я очень рад быть с вами здесь, и очень радостно мне, что мы смогли продержаться целых, получается, 6 недель, читая это произведение. Со следующей недели будет другая книга, будет небольшое голосование. Приходите, участвуйте и дальше в чтении следующего рассказа. Уверен, что он нас тоже всех немножко удивит. Спасибо вам большое. Если у вас есть пожелания, предложения, можно об этом сказать будет сейчас или хранить молчание до следующего воскресенья.
Yeah, I have one. I want to point out that pronunciation of the word lieutenant I heard today indicates that most people haven't watched the greatest TV show of all time, The Wire. I strongly suggest you to do that. Thank you.
Just when I expected it the least, you came up with this, The Wire. Прослушка шоу, да, Руслан рекомендует всем посмотреть прослушку. У Руслана есть традиция, он каждый раз, когда мы с ним встречаемся, он неожиданно рассказывает мне про это шоу и говорит, что «А вы слышали?» Он как реклама новой мобильной игры периодически, ну, конечно, великой мобильной игры, которая называется «Прослушка». Обязательно посмотрите, Руслан всем очень рекомендует. Я еще не посмотрел «Руслан», у меня не было на это времени, но посмотрю, да. Меня не Турция портит, нет. Я и в России бы не посмотрел это шоу так быстро. Спасибо за предложение. Спасибо всем еще раз. Отдыхайте и увидимся с вами в следующее воскресенье с 15 по 16:00. Счастливо.
Спасибо вам. Все здорово.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.